Welcome back to the Ink and Imagination podcast. Today we'll dive into the article, Animal Farm, a symbol of the painful political transformations. Human history is filled with revolutions that promise change, liberation, but few have delivered true justice. In Animal Farm, George Orwell portrays such a revolution, one filled with hope, but ultimately leading to betrayal and failure. The animals in the farm believe they are rising for the ideal of equality, but in reality, it becomes a tragedy. And that tragedy is not limited to the story of the animals, but represents all revolutions corrupted by power and personal ambition. We can look at modern society itself and see that many revolutions, from struggles for independence to movements for freedom, share common traits with the revolution in Animal Farm. Every revolution begins with a noble ideal, but gradually its leaders stray from the path, tempted by power and control. This transforms those ideals into tools for the personal ambitions of the leaders, turning them into dictators, even if they started with noble hearts. The beginning of the revolution. Every revolution stems from injustice and suffering. And in Animal Farm, the revolution begins with the exploited, oppressed animals. They long for change. They dream of a society where all animals are equal, where there is no distinction, no one is superior to another. They believe the revolution will bring a brighter future, but this revolution cannot continue with the purity of its original ideals. From the moment the animals overthrow the humans, they face issues they had not anticipated. Power quickly becomes concentrated in the hands of a small group, and this group rapidly develops authoritarian traits, manipulating the other animals through fear and cunning. At the start of the revolution, the animals could see a future where they would have self-determination, but power corrupted that freedom. The animals under Napoleon's rule, from initial naivety, gradually fall into a state of fear and dependence on those who control everything. This serves as a painful reminder that the bright beginnings of a revolution can be quickly destroyed by those who bring about the change. We cannot help but ask, in reality, do all revolutions eventually become a vicious cycle of corruption? The corruption of revolutionary ideals. Nothing is more painful than seeing the original ideals distorted and turned into tools for personal gain. The revolution in Animal Farm is a sharp reflection of how power can alter the essence of individuals, or in this case, animals. The animals could initially clearly see the injustice of humans, but once power is given to others, they fail to recognize that they, too, are being oppressed. Animal Farm exposes a brutal truth. When power falls into the hands of the greedy and unethical, beautiful ideals become instruments to achieve personal goals. The slogan, "All animals are equal," slowly transforms into "All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others." This phrase is not just a change in wording, but a symbol of the deceit and corruption in political systems. The animals cannot see the contradiction in these promises because they have been blinded by power and fear. This reminds us that whenever a revolutionary ideal is replaced by personal power, everything loses its purity and turns into a fierce struggle between individuals, rather than a fight for justice. One of Orwell's important messages is that change is not always liberation, and ideals can be easily manipulated without vigilance and awareness. Napoleon's rise, a symbol of authoritarian power. When Napoleon rises to power, a profound shift occurs in Animal Farm. The pig, once a comrade of the animals, gradually becomes a model of cruelty and dictatorship. He not only seeks to maintain power, but continually strengthens it through deceit and fear. Napoleon's story is the epitome of the tyrannical leaders throughout history. Those who use all means to maintain power and deceive the very ones they once claimed to protect. From secretly changing laws to deceiving the animals about the origin of their food or their shortages, Napoleon shows that his rule is not based on fairness or compassion, but entirely on power and manipulation. He is not just a leader, but a true dictator, intolerant of opposition, and using every method to crush anyone who threatens his power. Napoleon is not only a model for the tyrants in Orwell's world, but also a representation of power-hungry individuals in real life. From his use of fear to manipulating the animals for personal gain, everything reflects the dark nature of power. Orwell's message about the concentration of power in the hands of a small group, unchecked, serves as a warning about the corruption of any revolution. the spiral of power corruption. As the animals gradually realize that the revolution has not brought them the equality and freedom they dreamed of, they fall into a hopeless spiral. They no longer recognize that they are oppressed, no longer distinguish between the humans and pigs. All they see is a new group of rulers oppressing them through harsh policies and deceit. This reflects a cruel truth about power. When power is unchecked, it always regenerates in the form of new oppression. The possibility of an equal society. The conclusion of Animal Farm is a painful wake-up call. The original ideals of the revolution are completely lost. The animals no longer remember the first days when they fought for freedom and justice. Change has not brought a positive outcome, but instead, the rebirth of a vicious cycle of dictatorship and corruption. When all the animals become victims of those they once trusted, Animal Farm becomes a testament to the powerlessness of ideals when not maintained with awareness and righteousness. From this story, we cannot help but ask, have we learned anything from the mistakes of history, and can we build a truly just society where power is not manipulated? Or will we forever repeat the story of Animal Farm in different forms, through different revolutions, in different societies? Conclusion. George Orwell created a powerful and profound work about revolution and the corruption of power. From Animal Farm, we clearly see that nothing is more important than protecting ideals and preventing power from falling into the hands of the greedy. Because when power is unchecked, it will constantly corrupt and lead to betrayal, suffering, and decay. And in our society, just like in any revolution, this lesson remains a warning we cannot ignore. Hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. What about you? Have you read this book yet? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below.